Best jump shots in the NBA 2K23. Let's just go over it real quick. Guards, you got LaMelo, Curry, and KPJ. Releases, you can go with Curry, Oscar, Matt Thomas. When it comes to the swings, you got Kuzma, Brissett, LaMelo, and Taurean Prince. Releases, you got Clay, Larry Bird, Jason Tatum, and Oscar Robinson. Bigs, you got Chris Bosh, Brissett, Durant. It's a lot of jump shots you can use with bigs. They're going to be a little bit slower, but I would personally say Brissett. Releases for the bigs, you got Kevin Love, Dirk Nowitzki, Tim Duncan, maybe even a Kelly Olynyk. Now, when it comes to blendings for all of these jump shots, you got 85-15, 75-25, 50-50, and 60-40. Now that we got that out the way, we gave y'all the jump shots for the beginning of the video. So people that don't want to see all the extra info, I got to give y'all when it comes to everything in this video. Just make sure that y'all drop the like at least. Without further ado, no more talking. Let's hop into the actual video. Today, we finally gonna be updating the testing every single jump shot in NBA 2K23. We're gonna be going over releases. We're gonna be going over shot attributes. We're gonna be going shot release time. We're gonna be going over everything that comes to shooting in NBA 2K23. This should be dropping the day before Season 6. I don't know if I'm gonna update this again. The last time I did this video was Season 1, so it's a lot of stuff to go over in this video. We're gonna end it off with the best jump shots. We went over the jump shots at the beginning of the video just to get the people out the way that's just coming strictly for the jump shots, because I got a lot of gems to give y'all again in this video. If you guys want more videos like this, just make sure to like the video. I will be doing a video doing a tier list ranking every single animation in NBA 2K23. If you guys do want that, make sure to like. If you guys want the dribble tutorial, I'm trying to save that for when they actually do drop the best of the best for everything. But if they take too much longer, I'm gonna just go ahead and drop that. It's just that simple. I don't want to be updating the dribble tutorial every single time, because I'm not really the craziest dribble head, so it's not really a point of me doing that. I just want to make sure to drop one good video for y'all boys for the dribble tutorial, like I did with the contact dunk. But if you guys do want to update, because I did that Season 1, I can do that as well. But yeah, that's gonna be it for today. If you guys want more, make sure to like, subscribe, all that good stuff out the way. Let's hop into it. Now in this video, I plan to go over everything jump shot wise, when it comes to shot release timing setting, when it comes to release speed, when it comes to every attribute, when it comes to the shot attributes, even badges, and how the 3-point rating and mid-range rating work. We're gonna be going over everything, even takeovers. So if you guys want more videos like this, like the video. But yeah, let's hop into it. So when it comes to the guard jump shots, the idle one in my opinion is Curry. Now, there are actually Curry replicas within the game. You got Markelle Fultz, you got Brissett, and there's actually some other ones that's very, very similar to the Curry base. The only thing is, when it comes to the Curry shot, you're going to pretty much be able to have the best shot attributes. Now, let's go over before we go too in detail on jump shots, because I gave y'all jump shots at the beginning, but that's not the full totality of the jump shots we're going to give y'all in this video, because it's not actually that simple. So, when it comes to the shot attributes, first thing we need to go over is going to be the release speed. Now, release speed on all 3 different dynamic builds is different. So if you make a big, which is 6'10" and up, you only get 3 different release speed choices. If you make a release speed, which is a wing, where a lot of people make, which are 6'8", 6'9", you only get 4 different speed choices. If you make it as a guard, which is, I would say is 6'4" and under, you get 5 different choices. Now, that is going to make your guards be able to have a lot faster jump shots, but that's not the only thing. Depending on your height, you're going to have faster jump shots. So if you're 6'6" and below, which is the wings, you're going to have a faster jump shot than a 6'8" or 6'9". Same thing as if you're tall, like a 6 or 7 foot and up, you're going to have a faster jump shot than a 6'9" or 6'8". That's not even just talking about the different release speeds. So that's something that you got to understand. Then when it comes to these attributes, we're going to go over every single one. Now, release speed is pretty simple. That's just pretty much going to be how fast your jump shot is, but it can be very much capped a lot of times. Why? Release height. Now, sometimes on the release height, it'll give you A+, but you're not getting up as high as other jump shots, and it'll be an A. But the thing that you got to understand with a release height, sometimes depending on the jump shot, now this is depending on the jump shot, it'll actually give you an A+ release speed, but you won't have the same, like it won't be as fast as say a LaMelo, which gets really high. Because sometimes the higher you go, the slower the jump shot. Now, jump shots like LaMelo Ball, Stephen Curry, it doesn't really matter. but sometimes it does. So when you're looking at your bases and releases, you gotta understand that. Defensive immunity, that's pretty much the only way you can get like negate shot contest. Now, that's not just gonna be negating shot contest. That's gonna be kind of like how the Deadeye and Blinders new like tune is, where Deadeye and Blinders doesn't really like affect like negating shot contest. It just makes it easier to get greens on those certain things. Now, Blinders sometimes does, but not really. It just really makes it much easier to get greens. Now, the higher tier you go, the easier it's gonna be able to get greens and the more effect it's gonna have. Now, same thing with defensive immunity. The way defensive immunity is, it's gonna be doing that and also negating jump shots. So if you really want something to really be what you know as Deadeye of the past, you want your defensive immunity to be up. Now, last but not least, this is actually the biggest one, the timing impact. How does timing impact work in NBA 2K23? Now, I've seen a lot of people have hypotheses on this. I've seen people say it's like the new sniper badge, which even had me thinking that. And I was coming to y'all telling, I heard people say that. I never said it was 100% sure though, because I was studying. The timing impact has nothing to do with greens. Well, I guess it does, and to a certain extent, but your green window pretty much on all these jump shots, like you can have a F timing impact and have a bigger green window than Stephen Curry. The way timing impact actually works is, if you've ever felt like you get a consistent amount of different timing, say you got the fast jump shot, you got the slow jump shot. You ever heard people say that? That's because of the timing impact. Timing impact pretty much is, if you get a contest, you know how it speeds up your jump shot, it's not gonna be as fast. You know how sometimes when you're out of stamina, your jump shot slows down? It's not gonna slow down as much based off the timing impact. Now, when it comes to timing impact, you really can't have that A+ if you don't know, if you have max release speed, because the way release speed works, it's kind of crazy. That's why people thought it was based off like it was widening the green window, but the only way to really widen the green window as much as possible is lowering your release speed. So at the end of the day, it does affect your green window, but timing impact does much more than that. So yes, it does affect your green window, but it's mainly to show you guys like the impact on your green window and how fast your jump shot becomes or how slow your jump shot becomes based off the situation. Because this year they've made it to where when you shoot from further out, which we are gonna go over, you can pretty much green from anywhere on this game. Even without limitless badge or take, you can pretty much shoot from anywhere on this game. It's just really small green window. And the way timing impact affects that, it'll make it a lot easier to green, which is why Curry has one of the best timing impacts in the game, because Curry can shoot from really far. People like Damian Lillard have a higher timing impact because they can shoot from really far. Trae Young, a lot of those players that can shoot from really far have a good timing impact. So timing impact affects anytime you can like say that your jump shot is altered, whether it's your green window, whether it's your jump shot getting faster or slower, the timing impact affects that. All right, next is the shot release timing. Now, when it comes to shot release timing, we thought this was a lot of different things, but literally all this is the flick of the wrist. So when it came to a lot of people when the game first came out, they were saying the jump shots this year wasn't based off the base. It's based off the releases, which is like your wrist, which is it's true. It's actually true. But the bases, it is based off, you can base it off your bases and you can base it off your releases. Now, if you base it off your releases and just watch your releases every single time, you're never going to really have that issue of like the difference in timings, because if you just look at your wrist every single time and time it based off your wrist, you'll be perfectly fine. It's going to be different timings, but you can pretty much get a green every single time, no matter what your release is, no matter what your timing impact is, based off your release. And the way your releases can alter is your shot timing release time. You can put this to early, very early, late, or very late. But a lot of people that's mastered the release timing, like Steezo, he even did a video on this, and he uses very late. Now, me, I can't do that. That's way too slow. But what you would see is just go to like the Pro-Am facility. If you're on current gen, go to your My Court, go to the Gatorade facility. If you're on next gen, go anywhere where you can test your jump shot and just keep changing the release timing and look how slow or fast your wrist goes. If you put it on very early, it's gonna be a snap. It's gonna be an instant snap of the wrist. You put it on very late, it's gonna be going like you can literally just watch your wrist. Now, this is very odd because like I said, if you put it on very early, it's like the snap of the wrist. But at the same time, the way you time it based off looking at your wrist is also kind of different because you put it on very early, as soon as you see that hand get all the way back, it's gonna snap instantly forward. So as soon as you see it go all the way back, you release the button. Same thing with all these other ones, but it's like a different mesh point you gotta time it for, from what I've experienced. Now, it may not be the same for you, but I use Oscar Robertson for the majority of my releases, and it makes it very, very simple for me. Let me make sure I change that back to early, because we all know that this year there's been a very, 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 very big issue with 2K resetting your shot timing and your animation. So let me not tweak on that. Now, another recommendation I have for people that really do have an issue with like the difference of timings, if you don't want to look at your release on your build, like when you're shooting, you don't want to look at your wrist every single time, just put on your shot meter. Now, there are some shot meters better than others, so if you want the best one, in my opinion, for shooting, I would say Comet. All right, moving on into the shooting. First things first, we got the same tiers. Let's hop into it. Agent 3s. Agent 3s is easily a broken badge. It does everything when it comes to shooting for fades or any type of like, I think it does spin jumpers too, if I'm pretty sure it does spin jumpers too. I know it doesn't do hop jumpers because that's Space Creator, but pretty much any fading thing is gonna make it way easier. But not only does it do that, it does pretty much every single like off the dribble badge from last year. Rhythm Shooter, I believe some parts of Rhythm Shooter is in Space Creator if I'm not wrong, but there are some things in Rhythm Shooter that's in Agent 3s. Stop and Pop is in this, and some other badges just for like shooting off the dribble. Even if it's a standstill 3, you'll get a big boost to that shot. So it'll make it a lot easier to get greens and stuff like that. So Agent 3s is a broken badge. Now, next, Amped. Now, I don't know what it is, but I feel like I've been finding myself using more of these stamina badges after last season. So I would say Amped is definitely a usable badge. I still don't like it, to be honest with you, because the only build I really do use it on is my small guard. On my 6-1, that's the only build I really use it on. And it does work. It does what it's supposed to do, to be honest. But at the end of the day, I did stop using it because it does change it up. I feel like the badge that actually makes the biggest difference for stamina and changing your timing doesn't even have anything to do. It's not even a shooting badge. So I would still say Amped is a don't use for me personally. And there's just a lot of other badges. So I can see not enough badge points. I can see usable. I can see top tier for people that don't have the same experience as me. I would personally just say don't use. Blinders, that's a top tier badge. Blinders is, you could even argue is broken. Blinders is a really, really important badge when it comes to crabbing people, when it comes to just being a smaller guard, when it comes to picking and rolling, which a lot of people don't really do on this game, but it's still kind of important. Or picking and roll, pick and pop, all that type of stuff. And yeah, just that simple. I think blinders is really good for just guards. It's just that simple. Catch and shoot, another badge that's very important, but it's like for the other aspect of builds that I haven't really went over, which is pretty much spot ups, catch and shooters, off ball players. Pretty much that simple. That shoot. Really, probably the best badge in the game for y'all. Actually, that's cap, but yeah, it's up there. It's up there. Definitely top 5, top 3. Claymore, another badge for spot ups, but this is really for the people that's literally just spotting up. The longer you're sitting still, the added bonus you have to that shot that you eventually do shoot in that position. So yeah, Claymore is really for those corner sitters, those hash sitters that don't move. You know what I'm saying? They just sit in that spot the whole game, ready to shoot. That simple. Clutch shooter, top tier, probably the best badge in top tier, to be honest. Blinders gives it a run for its money, but I think clutch shooter, for the 5v5 is one of the best badges when it comes to the free throws in the second half. When it comes to the fourth quarter and overtime, gives you a big boost. When it comes to playing park, any point after 14, you get a boost with clutch shooter. So yeah, I do like clutch shooter in a lot of situations. I think clutch shooter is gonna pretty much affect any given game. Comeback kid. Only thing I say about Combat Kid is pretty much if you're losing, it's a top tier badge. If you're losing a lot and you're in close games a lot, but the thing is, you can't just be like in a close game. It has to be pretty much, you have to be losing by at least 7 points. So you have to be literally a loser to use that badge. Now, it might be people out there that need that badge. So that sounds crazy. So I kind of take that back. I ain't gonna lie. That's kind of crazy. I can't lie. That's kind of crazy. But Comeback Kid, really only for people that's really losing. I don't know how to really else say it. I say it's usable. So if you're going in a wreck without, like, playing with randoms, yeah. But even then, it's gonna be kind of hard to always be losing by more than 7. So I really prefer a badge that's always gonna be doing something. So that's what I'm gonna be putting that stuff. Now, corner specialist, if it worked the way it's supposed to, it would be top tier. But it doesn't really work, so I'll put it in don't use. It's been like multiple seasons at this point that I just don't really understand the point of using it. It doesn't do anything. I haven't really noticed any significant difference with corner specialists, whether I'm fading towards the corner like I used to, whether I'm just spotting up in the corner, whether I'm sitting under the hash, anything like that. I don't really see a significant difference. It's pretty much the same badge as it's always done. It just doesn't work. So yeah, from my experience, Deadeye is another top tier badge, pretty much a badge that you can use on pretty much any build to cancel out shot contests and just be able to shoot over people and like be able to shoot on higher contests and stuff like that more consistently. Deadeye, top tier badge. Green Machine, this is probably the best like all around badge, and again, you can use this on any given build, and it's never gonna be a tier 3. It's always gonna be like a tier 2, to be honest. And yeah, this game you have to get greens to make more shots. This badge is going, as you get more greens, it's gonna make it easier to get that next green, that next green, that next green until you miss. And even when you don't get a green, it's gonna make that next shot even more likely to make it, even on this game where pretty much whites don't go in. So that's not that big of a deal, but you want to be able to keep getting greens as easy as possible, and this is one of the best badges to do so. Guard up, in my opinion, is a really decent badge. It's not crazy. I wouldn't put it on the same level as Blinders and Deadeye, but it is usable. I can see people using it. I think for smaller guards, for sure, it's another great badge. For like say for instance, somebody don't have their hands up, you can green pretty much in contest with guard up. But the thing is, it's just like if people have their hands up, it really much does nothing. But if they have their hands down, they out of position and stuff like that, guard up is gonna be really good. But people that play their hands up, you playing smart people, you're not gonna really have a use of that badge. Limitless range is a broken badge. You can shoot from pretty much anywhere without it, and then when you put it on, bronze, silver to Hall of Fame, pretty much it's just gonna make it easier and easier to shoot from literally anywhere, even without the take. Now, I believe gold is like logo 3s consistently. Hall of Fame is pretty much anywhere consistently. But this is just really OP. The only thing I'll say that you could argue that makes it not overpowered is the take, because everybody can pretty much just get the take. But I still think it's a very overpowered takeover, or not takeover, but badge. Mini Magician is a usable badge, pretty much a build specific build badge. I think from the people I've seen that like really do use mid-range, they really do love this badge. So you could argue it is top tier. It's just not a lot of people are just mid-range scores, because you can get dunks so easily, and it's the same 2 points as if somebody that's really killing on the mid-range. So yeah, it's just that simple. And if you can do all that on the mid-range, you can really do all that on the 3 sometimes, unless you're doing like post phase or all type of wild shimmy stuff like Kobe type tough. Like, so people that's really just trying to have fun on the game and like emulate their favorite players, then yeah, it's a really fun badge. So yeah, I think it is a usable badge for you. But for the majority of people that's really just trying to win games and stuff like that, and the best thing to do is really to shoot 3s or get dunks, then Mini Magician just isn't like the most ideal badge for you, because you're not shooting mid-ranges. It's that simple. But it is a good badge for people that like mid-ranges. Slippery off ball is a usable badge. I would honestly say slippery off ball like a tier 1 badge. So it's like for off the ball people. So like you're gonna be using catch and shoot. I'm trying to think of the badge you would be running if you're off the ball. So I think if you're running slippery off ball, Blinders becomes a good badge. I think catch and shoot becomes a good badge. I think Deadeye becomes a good badge. I think clutch shooter is a good badge. I think Green Machine is a good badge. Limitless range, Agent 3s is a good badge, because you can steal, you can fade and stuff like that. Guard up might even be a good badge, because people are gonna be running at you, and sometimes it's hard to get their hand up on stuff like that. Corner specialist, if it worked, would be a decent badge. So you could argue it's not enough badge points, because there's a lot of badges for people that move off the ball, but I think the best movement off the ball isn't even using slippery off ball. But if you do like the slippery off ball like joystick stuff, but if you do use it with like slippery off ball like Hall of Fame, it's really good. I'm gonna be honest, I can't lie. So it's a kind of a build specific thing. Space Creator is a top tier badge. People that want to do hot backs, people that like, even if you're doing like the Curry hot back or the Dame hot back, the Kyrie hot back, the LeBron hot back, the whatever you want to call it, that I'm pretty sure that works with Space Creator. I'm pretty sure Space Creator is also for like hop jumpers as well. I'm pretty sure it's also for like the moving step backs as well. So like the Lukas and stuff like that, if you shoot off stuff like that, Space Creator also works with that. So I think Space Creator definitely is a top tier badge, and like I said, it does have a part of Rhythm Shooter from last year as well. Volume Shooter. All right, so first things first, when it comes to the jump shots in the game, we got to go from guards, swings to bigs. It should be timestamps for whatever type of build you're trying to look for. But first things first, we're gonna go with like the guards that's like 6'4" and under. So when it comes to the best jump shot in the game, for pretty much any build, not even just guards, I would say it's Stephen Curry. So if you have like a pure sharp, all you want to do is just be able to shoot. Steph Curry is the best jump shot in the game. Now on next gen, you have to deal with the timings changing a lot more. So I don't really think Steph Curry is the best one overall. It depends on your three-point rating. If your three-point rating is high, it doesn't change as much with Stephen Curry. But so I like using it on my pure sharp. This is my pure sharp build, so I do use Stephen Curry. But if I was to use any other jump shot for like quick stops and just not to change my jump shot too much, I think Kevin Porter is the jump shot I like the most entirely when it comes to if I'm on an actual small guard build. Like if I'm on my 6'1", I'm gonna use KPJ. If I'm on my pure sharp, I'm gonna use Steph Curry. It just is what it is, and it's just that simple. Now, when it comes to other jump shots that you can actually use, this is what I always tell y'all. When it comes to releases, bases, if you just want to look for something underrated, just think of a player in the league that can shoot. You can use that jump shot. So when it comes to players like Kyrie Irving, Damian Lillard, Darius Garland, Trae Young, all those jump shots and bases have really good stats, and they're really decent when it comes to green windows. So you can use all those. The only thing is some of those are just going to be a little too slow and stuff like that. So that's why I don't always recommend them. But if you want like something underrated, you can definitely go with one of those. Now, when it comes to the most popular jump shot in the game, it's definitely LaMelo Ball. LaMelo Ball is the most popular jump shot in the game, even at this point in the game, because you cannot just use it on smalls, but you can use it on wings or swings. So it's going to be a lot more build like crossover where you can use it on this build and you can use it on that build. So yeah. Now I'm gonna put on KPJ because that's what I'm favoring. Now when it comes to releases, I think the best release in the game is Oscar. They did patch it or nerf it a little bit. I still think it's the best one in the game. I like it because it has the speed and the attributes. Some people in the comments was going crazy talking about it doesn't have the best speed, but that's really kind of subjective. That's on you, what you think. And also people may have even found faster ones. That's just my favorite fast release. Now when it comes to releases that actually are good, again, you can use pretty much any NBA player that you feel like can shoot. You can even use releases like Steve Kerr, Steve Nash, Allen Iverson, Matt Thomas is a really, really underrated one. But my favorite one to go with alongside Oscar is definitely, again, Stephen Curry. That's just what I say. Now, when it comes to release speed, I'm going to go max speed. One thing, real quick fun fact, when it comes to these different builds, the under 6'5" builds have the most release speed. So you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 differences. So this is like very slow, this is slow, normal, quick, very quick. So if you like ever made a creative player and you've seen all those different speeds, the only one that has those 5 different speeds on it is the small guards build. So the small guard builds actually do have the ability to be faster jump shots than pretty much any build in the game. When it comes to the animation blending, you're going to pretty much go more towards whatever is your favorite release. My favorite one is Oscar. So say for instance, if you feel like Stephen Curry is a better release, you would put Stephen Curry in where I have Oscar Robertson. If you want to still use Oscar Robertson, you would just put Stephen Curry. But if you don't want to use Oscar Robertson, you can put something else. It's just that simple. But I like Oscar Robertson. I'm going to blend it more towards Oscar, and I'm going to go 75-25. The releases our blendings I do go is 85-15, 75-25, 60-40, and 50-50. And I'll always blend it towards the one I rather like. Now, when it comes to a lot of different things on this stuff, I've done a video going over shot attributes. I went over shot release time, and the one I do use is early. I do think like if you are a fader and stuff like that, you can go with a slower one. For comp situations, I can see people using very early because it is a little bit faster flick of the wrist and stuff like that, and all the shot release time it does is change like the wrist speed and how fast you flick your wrist. But all that is in a different video. I will try to put that in the comments, or in the comments, not the comments, but the description below. If I don't remember to do so, remind me in the comments down below. But yeah, that's pretty much the best jump shots for the guards. All right, so next is going to be the swings. Now when it comes to the swings, the best jump shots in the game for y'all, It's very, very simple, and I've went over this time and time again. Now, when it comes to the low 3-point rated jump shot, I didn't have one for the smalls, but for the swings, for sure, the default swing is the best one in the game for low 3-point rating builds. It's actually arguably one of the better jump shots in the game for spot ups as well. This is the jump shot I use on my No Money Spent, which I haven't played on in a couple when it comes to streaming wise, so I need to get to that. But definitely 100% the one I would definitely recommend for people that's grinding their builds, trying to get it up from the ground up. If you want a jump shot that you, or a base that you can use off the rip, default swing, you don't even really got to change it. You don't even got to even use it as a custom jump shot. You can just use default swing. It's really, really good. Now, when it comes to the actual best jump shots in the game, let's go ahead and get it out the way. LaMelo Ball, most popular jump shot. I personally don't favor it. People be like, you can't just say you don't favor. It's just personally for me, I don't like it. It's just very inconsistent for me. It's popular for a reason though, so a lot of people love it. They put it on their sharps, they put it on their locks, they put it on their spot ups, they put it on their guard builds, they swings, they put it on pretty much a lot of different builds, whether it's 6'9" or anything under that. Pretty much any build that is possible to put on, they put it on. I'm personally just not a big LaMelo Ball, but it is popular for a reason, so if you want to test that for yourself, go ahead. That's just what I'm saying. Now, when it comes to the actual jump shots, I personally recommend. My favorite one in the game, hands down, for the swings, is easily Kyle Kuzma. Now, my personal favorite one in the game is probably as well Kyle Kuzma. Where's the case? Do I just not know my ABCs? Like, what's going on? But yeah, Kyle Kuzma, definitely my favorite base in the game. Now, if I'm going with an alternative to Kyle Kuzma, I would definitely have to say Taurean Prince is the best alternative in the game. Now, the only reason I would ever not use Kyle Kuzma is because after like season 2 or season, like midway season 3, it's like the jump shot changes was so egregious, bro. Like, it got bad after a while. Like, it was actually ridiculous. Like, it got so bad with Kuzma, so I had to start using other stuff. And Taurean Prince is one of the most consistent jump shots in the game when it comes to not changing your timing. The only thing is it's a little bit slower, but it's still fast enough to get it off. And it's like one of the higher like jumping jump shots in the game as well. So yeah, Taurean Prince is another one I would highly, highly recommend. Now, another one that I low-key was kind of on the wave of like LaMelo Ball, where I didn't really mess with it, but it was pretty popular, O'Shea Brissett. Now, O'Shea Brissett is a jump shot that you can also say is one of the most popular because you can use it on swings and bigs. Now, the reason why I've started messing with O'Shea Brissett, I started playing my team. It is a fact. So O'Shea Brissett, I definitely would recommend. O'Shea Brissett is one of the better bases in the game. I used to not like it that much, but after having to force myself to learn it on my team with all the people that have O'Shea Brissett, I had to start messing with it. So yeah, O'Shea Brissett is another one I would definitely recommend. Now, when it comes to the underrated ones, I would say same thing with the guards. Any person you can think of that can shoot, gonna have a pretty decent jump shot. From the Ray Allens to I'm gonna be honest, Devin Booker is a really underrated. Kobe Bryant's, the Vince Carter's, the Tracy McGrady. It's a lot of decent ones. I think Kevin Durant is good, but it's just a little too slow. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope is one of my favorite ones in the game for a spot up. I used to love Bielitsa, but they destroyed that jump shot to me, so I can't use it. Even some people like this Jimmy Butler, I can't get behind it though. Even as a Heat fan, he like does a fadeaway every single time. I can't get behind that. It's just not possible for me. It's just that simple. Now, I'm gonna go back to Kyle Kuzma and go over the releases. Now, for the releases, you can do the same thing. Just think of people that can shoot, and you should be straight. Now, I'm gonna go with Oscar Robertson again. Just perfect. I already went over this for the guards, but I'll say it again since some people may not even look at that. But Oscar Robertson is just a perfect blend of having great attributes and speed, and that's really a big important thing for me. I need my jump shot to be fast. Now, when it comes to release 2 to go alongside that, it's only 3 you really need to worry about. You got Larry Bird, which is probably the best one in the game for Kyle Kuzma base. So if you're pairing something with Oscar, Larry Bird is a really, really good one. But also the other one, I call it double T because it's either going to be Klay Thompson or Jason Tatum. So we're going to show you Tatum first. Tatum is a really decent one that you can go alongside, but I definitely like Thompson a little bit more. Oh yeah, Klay Thompson. So we're gonna max this one out. Okay, so for the release speed, I showed y'all this on the guards. So you had 5 on the guards. So let's show you guys on the swing. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4. You get 4 different speeds. So it just takes one off. So I'm guessing they took off very quick, so you only get max to quick release speed. But release blending, you gonna go, or animation blending, you gonna go 75-25. And I went over the blendings I usually go. You either go 85-15, 75-25, 60-40, or 50-50, and you always blend your animation blending towards whatever release you rather like which one you think is better. So whether you like using your better release as your release 2 or better release as your release 1. I like use my better release as my release 1. That's really dependent on you. It just feels natural for me. I don't know why. But yeah, that's just what I would say. And also when it comes to shot timing and stuff like that, I use early, but you can use whatever you want to use. I think very late is really good for like if you want to fade. And I also think that very early is really good for comp settings if you just want to get your shots off faster. It's just that simple. So yeah, that's the jump shots I would definitely recommend for the swings. And all right, last but not least, the bigs. Now this is gonna be bigs, just pretty much 6'10" and up. I don't know if I went over the swings, but you kind of understand what the swings are at this point in the video. But yeah, let's just hop into it. So when it comes to the bigs, I don't really think there's really too many crazy low 3-point rating jump shots. I think the best one is gonna be the same as the best low 3-point rating jump shot, so it doesn't really matter. So let's just hop into it. So when it comes to the best bases in the game for big men, I think the best one in the game, hands down, is OC%. Now the only reason I usually didn't really mess with it because I personally didn't like it. I had to force myself to actually start liking it once I started playing my team, because it's a lot of the best cars that have that base. So yeah, OC%, I'm on the game. I'm on the bandwagon now. Yeah, I would definitely say it's the best base in the game. It has the perfect blend of speed and just ability to green. It's just that simple, and it's really good in a lot of situations, whether you're a spot up or somebody that like a big that want to create for yourself. It's really good. So yeah, OC%, definitely something I would recommend. Now when it comes to other bases, I think Be Elisa was one I always used to recommend, but I can't recommend it no more. But Chris Bosh is, I always say, this is one that I always see people use if they use it. Really consistent with them. And then we got Kevin Durant, which is also another one that's really consistent for a lot of people. Now LaMarcus Aldridge, ever since it was added, I've always wanted to like see somebody use it. I never really seen somebody be crazy with it. I tested it out a little bit. I really wouldn't recommend it. It's a little bit faster, but it doesn't really, it reminds me kind of like if you've used James Harden, where how he doesn't really get off the ground, but it's kind of fast. That's kind of what it reminds me of LaMarcus Aldridge, where it's kind of so different from how it used to be, where he used to get off the ground the craziest in the entire game, and it was one of the fastest, where it pretty much isn't really that crazy on speed, but it is like pretty decent. So yeah, LaMarcus Aldridge is another one, but the one I would definitely recommend for bigs is going to have to be Brissett. Like Brissett just has to be the one that you use. Now when it comes to releases, you actually got a lot of releases. Now the fastest one is definitely Kelly Olynyk, but we're not even gonna waste our time with that. We're just gonna go over the best releases in the game. The same thing as what I was saying with the guards and the swings. Just think of bigs that could shoot and you should be straight. So my favorite releases in the game is definitely Tim Duncan. You can still use Larry Bird, so that's also another release you could use. But Tim Duncan, Kevin Love, Larry Bird, and Dirk Nowitzki. Now, those are releases I would use. I'm gonna go Tim Duncan though and Dirk Nowitzki. I think Dirk Nowitzki is like the closest thing that you can get to like having that Oscar Robinson release that you get from the guards and the swings. So that's the one I like to use. But yeah, I'm gonna blend it more towards Dirk. I like just like having Dirk as the secondary release. I don't like having it as the first release. It just doesn't seem right. I've never done that, but it was 2K19 and on and stuff like that. I've just never used Dirk as like one of the main releases whenever I have used Dirk. So I'm gonna definitely say Dirk is definitely a secondary release for me. But yeah, again, you can use any of these blendings. Now when I'm on a big, to be honest, I don't use 75-25. I don't use 85-15. I just use either 60-40 or 50-50. So let me keep it true to what I usually do. I usually do it like this to have it blended a little bit more fine and directly more towards what the jump shot really is. And yeah, that's pretty much the jump shots I would definitely recommend for the bigs. I think the bigs kind of get the least content out of all of them, but I guess y'all really are more like post scores anyway. Y'all don't really be dribbling, and then some stretches they be like spot ups anyway, so they don't really be dribbling either. But even just the jump shots and releases, y'all kind of get the least content out of all three types of deals. But yeah, that's gonna be the end of this video. If you guys want more videos like this, just go ahead and like the video. Make sure to subscribe if you're new. Turn on post notifications, be the first at every single one of the videos. Share this video to anybody, and I mean anybody you think would help. Without further ado though, man, it's your boy Fitz. That had to be, man. So I was checking my analytics. Even with 100K, we still have 80% of you guys not subscribed. I don't know what else I gotta do. Now, if you guys want to get more in touch with me, you can join the Discord. But how you watching my videos and not subscribe? Subscribe. It's that simple.
Tell them to bring me my money. Yeah!